Good afternoon, evening gamers. My name is KarQ. We have a blog article released today on June 12th, Friday, June 12th, 2026 by Ben Troutman, who went over the end of season 2, including win rates, ban rates, map win rates, bug fixes, and the implications, everything that went down as we close off season 2. Remember, season 3 begins June 16th, so in about 4 days, we get Xion, the new DPS hero, who we've all seen with the pistols and the motorcycle. But until then, let's read this article that was released today to kind of give a little season in review and maybe reaffirm some of your beliefs regarding what was strong and what wasn't at the end of season 2. So, hi everyone, season 3 is around the corner and we know you're eager to play evil with our newest hero and hop into Neon Junction, which is that new Tokyo map. Catch us at the Cat Cafe reading up on the latest Shimada drama. Yeah, there's also a big lore drop if you're into Mizuki and the Japanese heroes in the game, with Mizuki's mentor being Kiriko's father, captured by the new hero Xion and raised there, etc, etc. I won't spoil it, go read it. Before we start the descent from season 2 summit though, it's time for one of your favorite weekly recall topics: data, and data. Our data analyst Ben Troutman, sorry, I'm just being annoying. Ben Troutman provided us with some glorious charts about a particular feline meta and mode popularity, along with a few bonus tidbits hidden in the numbers. Cat Bastion Stat Station. Yeah, that's an alliteration. That's gonna mess me up. Okay, let's start with the cat-shaped elephant in the room. If you've watched any of the Overwatch Champions series, so OWCS, or the Overwatch World Cup matches over the past month, you've undoubtedly noticed the presence of Jetpack Cat's devilish alliance with heroes like Bastion and Cassidy. They call this the CATSTION, or the Cattling Gun comp, or the Cat Noon, Fly Noon, Cat Neon, whatever you want to call it. So the feisty feline carries damage dealers through the air, where they're free to pop an ultimate ability or send destruction on unsuspecting enemies below. Many of you have likely been personally victimized by a Sky Noon in your own matches and have called for the immediate spaying of this meta. Wow, look at these play on words here. So data brings good tidings though. It turns out CATSTION and its derivatives are only a near constant in professional play, but not in your average Overwatch maps. Here is a graph right here. As you can see, this is Jetpack Cat's ban rate progression on PC ranked role queue split by ranked. So I remember when Cat first came out, yeah, it looked like majority of players were banning Jetpack Cat on release, which was season 1, early February. Then it kind of declined. And then even in season 2, it was still declining. And I think this is where we saw OWCS start pulling out the CATSTION. I mean, season 2 was also when they got rid of the territorial major perk, where the AoE around the cat stopped doing damage, and then they moved the slash with the claws out onto a major perk. So early on, people were like, oh wow, like Cat's kind of weak now, so it was still declining. And then OWCS realized that instead of using that playstyle, because that part of Cat got nerfed, let's just do the pickup one. So you, instead of taking the claws out on the minor, now you take like transport healing, where like that's for the minor perk, and then you just carry the Bastion around, and then all of a sudden, bam, Cat got really popular, got played in pro play, and then started getting a lot more bans ever since. Jetpack Cat's ban rate steadily decreased in all of competitive ranks throughout season 1 and into the start of season 2, which is standard for most new heroes. A massive spike in ban rate hit in mid-April at the champion rank. So it looks like champion players first. Oh, actually, that's one good call here. Look, the pink rank is champion, the highest rank in the game. They were the first ones, and then everybody else kind of followed suit. Grandmaster is the purple one, followed suit right afterwards. And then it looks like Masters, the blue one, moved up, but the rest of the world didn't really. It's maybe slightly in platinum, but the rest, like bronze, silver, gold, plat, and diamond, probably kept it pretty steady. At least in bronze, it's still declining on average. I think they mostly still banned Sierra there. It was swiftly copied by subsequent ranks above diamond. It's not a coincidence that Crazy Raccoon first debuted the Jetpack Cat Bastion strategy around the state, and most of the pro scene followed. Consistent Jetpack Cat bans at high ranks have mostly kept that strategy quarantined to professional play. That said, our balance team recognizes the prevalence of the aerial feline shenanigans in high ranks, and you'll get some relief when season 3 drops. Ooh, so they're nerfing it. Jetpack Cat's frenetic flight fuel regeneration penalty will be increased, and the transport shielding, which was the minor perk I mentioned earlier, will lose some of its staying power, among other changes. Lifeline will remain a useful tool for Jetpack Cat, but upcoming changes should keep its ability to cause meta mayhem relegated to the pro scene. I mean, a personal anecdote is I play sometimes in some low champion lobbies and high GM. I have seen it, Cat Bastion specifically, I've seen it maybe less than 5 times. There was a stretch where I saw it 3 games in a row, and honestly, it might have been the same players. and I beat them every single time. And the reason is they just don't do it right. The timing of Cat Bastion is pretty important. If you're the first ones out and your tank or everybody else is not making space, you don't have the right team comp around it, it's not going to work, because that's 2 out of the 5 people gone. And if they're at a bad time, like, everybody else can shoot them because their tank isn't rolling in or whatnot, or they're playing the enemy team when they ran the Cat Bastion. I think they were playing, well, who were they playing? I think they were playing Orisa, which is fine, but like it's a little bit resource hungry. I think when they run Cat Bastion in pro play, they run like Wrecking Ball. At least Junbin and Crazy Raccoons did that, because Wrecking Ball can roll away, disengage, and re-engage at a really quick time whenever is necessary, and go roll for health packs. A low resource tank like Wrecking Ball, who can do his own thing, versus someone like Orisa, who does require a lot of healing to maintain space. So like when I played against that Cat Bastion specifically, the Orisa came out too early, and then we just shot the Orisa down, and then the Orisa had to back, and then all of a sudden the Cat Bastion comes in. I'm like, well, the Orisa had to back up because the timing was wrong, and then we just killed the Cat Bastion. It was unsuccessful like almost every single time that I played against it. A lot of players, even in that lobby, I was like mid to high GM, they weren't running it properly. So I don't really think Cat Bastion was a problem for the majority of players, to be honest with you. It was only in pro play, but even so, it looks like they're going to be nerfing it. And that was just my personal anecdote I wanted to throw in there. More like Pharah. So next part of the article talks about Pharah. Speaking of ban rates, we want to show you how win rates can differ from region to region depending on what their community picks up on. Sierra plus Pharah ban progression for all ranks on PC. So averaged out, it looks like Sierra, when she was released, spiked up to almost a 50% ban rate in Americas. Pharah with a slight uptick. However, in Asia, they value Pharah like crazy. They ban her almost 40% of the time, with Sierra much less. And then in Europe, similar trend to America. So America and EU bans Sierra mostly, but Asia, they absolutely hate dealing with Pharah, which is quite interesting. By the way, when I say Americas, I know some of you guys live in like different parts of the world, and you're like, well, I'm not from these continents. What does that mean? For some reason, Americas actually consists of the oceanic, Australia, New Zealand, like that region doesn't play on Asia. They're actually queued, and their ranks are associated with the Americas server. And everybody who plays out like in like Africa, Middle East, they're on the EU servers for the most part. And then Asia, I think this is mostly Korea, because like I think China actually has a separate win rate. Unless, I mean, this is Blizzard, so maybe they're actually pulling data from the Chinese servers as well. Historically, Asia has picked up on possible ban rate trends a little bit earlier than other regions, thanks to the prevalence of pro players on the servers. So when Season 2 kicked off, Pharah had a few perks integrated into her base kit that gave her serious firepower and a chance to rule the skies. Asia immediately sent her to timeout with a double-digit increase in ban rate over a few mere days. Europe steadily hopped onto this trend, but gamers in America apparently didn't see her as much of a threat. Instead, the Americas apparently had a vendetta, not that one, good one, against one of their own in Sierra, whose ban rates have steadily increased since her release. Interestingly, Sierra's ban rates on Asia servers never peaked above 28%. Ban priorities can differ widely based on what a regional community is most annoyed about in any given moment. You can check these out anytime on our hero stats page, which now shows ban rates. That's right. I forgot to mention, like, ban rates are actually public, by the way. And if you filter by all ranks, like when I play rank personally, I don't see Sierra banned like ever, but like majority of players diamond and below will ban Sierra because she can be very annoying and very lethal. And a lot of those players call for Sierra bans. Whereas when you compare it to like high ranks, they don't value Sierra as much. She can pop off here and there. I've seen a few good ones, but her ultimate and her nade are a little bit more gimmickier there because most people avoid it, and most people are annoyed at Sojourn and other kinds of DPSs. And I guess in Asia they value Pharah a lot. By the way, those Pharah changes were really strong. I saw it at first and I'm like, this Pharah hero is insane, because it was like Concussive Blast was now dealing 50 damage, and then the base kit Rocket Barrage where she can move in it now and all that fun stuff. I was like, yo, Pharah's gonna be insane, but mostly only Asia picked up on it, which is interesting. Okay, next interesting implication, we have Wuyang. Wuyang win rates, wow. So sometimes we find fun little storylines in these piles of data. In our May 12th patch, we actually fixed a bug that was doubling the standard damage reduction from armor onto Wuyang's primary fire, his Xuan Wu staff. This bug was inadvertently ensuring he did half damage to tanks and other armored heroes. If you aren't a hardcore Wuyang enthusiast, you may not have noticed this fix, but our stats did. I play a lot of Wuyang. I didn't even know that his damage was getting slightly nerfed against tanks. I usually try not to spam tanks wherever I can. I try to go for squishies in the backline. So it seems like overall, like Wuyang, even before the armor fix here, according to this bug, was still above a 50% win rate. So he was still good. But I guess after they fixed it, it jumped up slightly, up to like 51.5 to 52% on average. When you zoom in on the data, there is a correlation and an actual strong trend indicating that there was a 0.8% win rate increase. May not be noticed by most players, including myself, but That does matter. Like there are times where I have to spam the Orisa or the Ramatra up front who has armor and stuff, but sometimes I don't have no damage numbers live in the game, so it's kind of hard to tell. Which, by the way, when you play Stadium, I just recently did it because of the competitive drives. I haven't played Stadium since last season. I totally forgot that they have damage numbers on hit, and I'm still waiting for Overwatch to add this to the main game. Like, why are we not doing that? And if you don't like it, you should have an option to turn it off. I used to play Apex Legends a lot, and I love when I shoot a person with like my R99 or whatever my gun was. I can see the actual damage number on each tick. Super satisfying to see. Why don't we have that in the main game? They literally added it to Stadium. So honestly, if I saw this as Wuyang, a live damage number set, we could probably QA as a community much easier when I'm like, wait, why is my Wuyang staff only doing like less, or my orb doing less damage on this tank versus, or on this armor target, like more than normal versus like hitting a squishy? You know what I mean? Just put those numbers in the game. What are we doing? Come on. So after the bug was fixed, Wuyang's win rate went up a respectable 0.8% over the course of several days across PC ranks, at least when the other team wasn't also playing a Wuyang to cancel out the difference. Okay, so it was unmirrored win rate. This may not seem like a big number, but a win rate increasing by a full percentage point in a short time is actually extremely rare. What's even more fascinating is that this win rate bump has yet to move the needle on Wuyang's play rates. Maybe this is a sign to incorporate Wuyang in your hero pool. Well, now that I know that this actually was significant, I'm gonna play more Wuyang. Okay, let's talk about maps now. Spin the map roulette. The Overwatch community has been fiending for more numbers about our maps, so we dove into the data depths with the Antarctic Peninsula's adorable penguins to fetch some charts about the most popular modes and the effect of several new features. So we have map voting here. The mode chosen rate, all ranks. So this is actually data you will not get publicly on the website. This is just how people vote for the maps. So this is a chosen rate for the map types when shown in map voting for ranked role queue PC for all ranks, all regions. This is the stuff you get only on this article here. So it seems like the majority of players vote for hybrid as the most popular map. Wow, okay. End of Antarctica feature. Oh, control spiked down. So the takeaway, remember when Antarctica got reworked in the first month? If you voted for it, you would lose less rank if you lost it, like a little bit of lost forgiveness for playing on a new map. The moment they got rid of it, control got bumped down overall on average. But overall, it says that Flashpoint's the most popular, along with Escort. And then we have control. Then we have people picking random maps over push, and Flashpoint being the least. Now, even though it says Flashpoint is the lowest chosen rate, I think that's a byproduct because of only having 3 selections for Flashpoint. You only have Atlas, New Junk City, and Soravasa. Wow, I couldn't even think of it. Only 3 maps. So proportionally, if you only have 3 maps versus how many hybrid maps there are in the game, there's like 6 or 7, right? It's like it effectively double that. There's Eichenwald, Hollywood, Kings Row, you get the point, right? So I'm not sure. I think you should normalize it for the amount of proportional to the amount of maps available for each game mode here, to really indicate like people's tendencies to vote for certain maps, because the frequency they show up may change that, because I don't know if they actually show up on equal terms. So even if there are less Flashpoint maps than hybrid, are Flashpoint maps showing up more frequently to make up that difference? That I don't know, and that's important when doing data analysis. Ben says, when the reworked Antarctic Peninsula debuted at the start of Season 2, we increased XP in quick play and lowered negative progress on a loss in competitive mode. While this helped control as a mode maintain an equal pick rate with escort maps throughout the feature, another Season 2 edition had a strong effect on the entire system. Every map mode took a nosedive in voting rate at the start of the season. Why? The thrill of leaving map selection to fate must have called to our community, and the random button became an overnight hit. So many of you rolled the proverbial dice during Season 2's launch week. 20 to 25% of all map votes were random, that it tanked the average pick rates of every other mode. Things have evened out over the course of the season, but an average of 18% of all map votes are still going to that tempting button. We also want to provide some data, hopefully to settle mode-related arguments on social media. Folks in some ranks are convinced they never get to play a certain map type, while those in higher or lower ranks feel overwhelmed by playing that mode repeatedly. But guess what? Both are right. So here's the chosen rates for the map types when shown in map voting for ranked role queue on PC for Masters Plus ranks in all regions. So in Masters Plus, Control in the high ranks is the most popular one, which is true. I always vote Lijiang Nepal. The reason why I personally do it as someone in this category is because it's the fastest game mode. Push is also really fast because it's under 10 minutes, so people vote for that as well. Flashpoint as well. Look at that. Flashpoint, Push, And Control are your top 3 game modes because they are the fastest. Hybrid and Escort take the longest, and then Random is the lowest. Hybrid and Escort are the top map types when all ranks are considered when you look at this graph here. But those at the higher tiers of competitive mode prioritize Control. In fact, Control is voted a nearly full 10% more often than any other map type at the highest rank. Flashpoint's also a big hit at Masters Plus along with Push, but both are the least voted map types when all ranks are tallied up. Random doesn't seem to tempt the upper echelons of competitive as much, which makes sense. They'd rather take fate into their own hands instead of playing map roulette. So if you're in silver and think you've never played a Flashpoint map in competitive, you're probably right. If you're champion and missing escort maps, you're also probably right. No more fighting in the comments, y'all. Everybody gets an A+ this time. That's it for now. Thanks for appreciating the art of charts with us. See you in season 3. So I mean, this confirms my personal biases when I play ranked for sure. They say it's because fate into your own hands without clicking random, but genuinely, it's mostly just to get the fastest game mode out as possible. Control, Escort, Flashpoint. Under 10 minutes on average, we take that. Because, you know, Hybrid and Escort can take up to 20, even 30 minutes at one of the longest, like double, triple overtime matches, which happens. Random seems to be really popular with most players, but that's just a callback to old Overwatch pre-map voting era. When you used to queue into any quick player competitive, you would always used to just get a random map for literally 9 years of the game's lifespan. And then when they added map voting to give agency for players, that kind of went away. So now that the random button is back, I think that's a really good addition to like give people at least hopefully the choice to go back to random maps, especially when you're just queuing casually and you have no preference. Random is always fun, so you get to play a map you never play anymore. I'm not gonna say I miss Paraiso, for example, but like I don't think I played that map, or maybe I played that map like less than 3-5 times maybe in the last year and a half because nobody votes for it. But I can tell you can't tell you the amount of times I've voted Lijiang and Nepal and stuff like that. So yeah, this is what data does. This is just an interesting article tidbit for data and trends and stuff. So hopefully this aligns with what you're experiencing in your own games. A fun little article, but that's it for now. Probably going to be chilling until the new season starts in a couple of days. So get ready. Lots of content's coming out. Xion breakdowns, Xion Mythbusters, patch notes, and all that fun stuff going on the main channel. And then whatever we find up on this channel as well. So thanks for lurking. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys. Peace.